one-stop shop. The wine corner is a one-stop shop. The drinks corner is a one-stop shop. The juice corner is a one-stop shop. The wine corner is a one-stop shop. The vibes corner is a one-stop shop. Energy corner.
The all-new Spark FM. Spark FM.
Hey, check. Hey, can you hear me now? Okay, we're here. Good morning, everybody. We are here. We're here. Oh, yes. It is the morning. It is bright and early on a Tuesday morning. That means that today is a day for tacos and tequila.
And we are going to have that.
I know, for our cousin day.
And I'm so excited.
Me either. Not me either. What is it?
Me as
Me as well. However. Big shout outs to all of you guys for waking up. We see that you guys are starting to trickle in. As you trickle in and check in, go ahead and give it up a share. Let people know that you are listening and you are paying attention to what is happening going on here at the Spark FM online. It is Tuesday. Quick check-in. Miss Tony, how you doing?
I am good.
Yes, you are. How's it going, young girl?
It's going, man. Today has been a day.
Today is 9:16, and today has been a day.
Woo! Today has been a day. I am good. I had a nice drive into work this morning.
Okay.
It was very nice.
It was, huh? It was very nice. It was very wonderful.
Yeah, so I drove into work, and then I got here, and on my way here, I found a little song, because I was feeling a little tense this morning, and I found a song by Damon Little and Angie Stone, and it's called No Stressing, and it says, I'm not gonna let nobody stress me out today. And I was singing, and woo, I was like, yes, thank you, God, for sending me that song. Amen. Hallelujah. I'm delivered.
You're delivered even. Wow.
Shamala. And so I'm here and I feel good. And last night was good. We had a little family birthday party for our cousin Chelsea. Hey, Chelsea. Happy birthday. Yeah, her and Bella are here. So we had a little birthday party last night, pizza party, with pizza and salad and delicious cake and ice cream. And it was a grand family time. Good times with the fam. Loved it. And then I went home and I went to sleep and I woke up and I came here today. And there we are. It's been good. I feel good. And it will be good.
There you have it.
It's going to be a good day. What about you, Rux Tezone Trismus?
Oh, I've been working, organizing in the year of growth and development.
Yes. I like this year of growth and development that you have going on
that
here.
theme.
That is it. I'm just trying to stay on task.
Yes.
As am I. Yesterday, however, I did go get I had a busy day yesterday. I did go get my physical, my yearly physical, because I like to be healthy. And I want to have my body I don't know. I thought my body was breaking up. I went in there and I was just like, yo, you got to shut it down. I'm dying.
What do you want it to be euthanized? What are you saying?
Yes, a little bit.
What's going on?
My body is hurting me. So yesterday, because it was my 10 year and my 10th tetanus shot. I had to get a tetanus shot. I had to get a flu shot. So last night it was very difficult for me to sleep because both of my arms feel like lead. Like absolute lead. I got all of my things, checked all the things. I got to get a mammogram now.
You're in the big girls club now.
I'm an adult. I want you guys to know that I'm a lady. I get mammograms. How often do you have to get those? Yearly?
Yeah.
Really? Let's smash up your babies yearly. Wow.
Don't
how much do they smart? Because you got good size ones that you can slab on there, put it on a glass. See, me, I would have to really, I'd have to pull my... Well, nobody ever described it to me like that. It's like a little panini press.
It is. Sorry, it is. Oh,
I was so scared because I was like, I thought they would have to take it from the root and stretch it all out and slap it on the ground. Ample enough.
Ample breastery to do that.
So what they do with the people that got the smaller breasts?
Exactly, Tristan. Exactly.
That's what hurts.
You're not pull my nipple off. Like, don't do that. Ow.
Because you do have to get onto the machine, like on it like this.
Yeah.
And it jams you up in your armpit, but. Because
I'm gonna compare it to when you go into the dentist and they do the damn teeth X-rays and that
cuts up in the
like I feel like it's 2024. You should be able to body scan me and find what you need to find.
Well, they do have the one that you can go walk into and then it goes around your head.
Yeah.
Why I don't understand why they're not doing that instead of having you bite down on this thing. Does that hurt everybody or?
I think because I have a low thing in the thing,
the palate,
it bothers me really bad. But me
too, it hurts me really bad.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so you got a delicate mouth.
I've got. Tristan, when's the last time you had your physical? Because I'm asking you specifically because I find it frustrating to me that black men do not take care of themselves as much as they should.
It's been about like 5 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ, my Lord. Father, give me peace and mercy in my soul.
You sure you still got all your body parts? Because that sounds crazy.
I don't understand.
What?
I don't
You even go in a minute clinic and
just get a little,
just get somebody to look at
your arm checked.
Talk to someone. Jesus.
Just go make them see you. Just at a glance.
Something.
Are you?
Something.
All right. Let me just check your eyes. See, so this now I gotta go get Tristan's all his insurance, and I gotta make this man appointments all the time, his yearlies, and fill them up in the calendar. Because what I will not have is this black man going down on my watch. You hear me?
That's crazy.
So we gonna have to sit down and have a meeting. I'm gonna have to get everybody's health insurance information. Start booking everybody's appointments and stuff.
Child, I got more appointments.
Today we have a really great show lined up with you. We're gonna present to you guys our Armani White. He'll be talking to us today. He is the founder of Reclaim Roxbury, and this is an organization that's trying to help us to claim our Roxbury. Aside from all these developers and everybody coming in here, and we want to talk to the people on the ground who is seeing things happen in real life and out here advocating for what should and should not happen in Boston as it pertains to our communities and open space and all kinds of great stuff. So we'll be talking to him later on in the show. But as of right now, we're going to get this show started, so we should get into our roundaway news, our local news segment, and then we'll go on from there. Let's get into it. Saucy and Friends in the Morning starts right now.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the Morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
Call Spark FM at 617-272-3387.
The only thing that does matter is great music, and you will find it here.
The all-new Spark FM.
So I just updated a lot of my apps, including Instagram, and it's very different over here, and I don't like it.
What's different?
It's like it connects me straight to Threads already.
Oh, yeah.
And then it moves, and then you get your top couple people in like a little grid.
Oh no.
Yeah, you got it's like this. See, all of you guys are up there in the beginning.
Oh yes.
How long have I not updated?
It's been a while that you haven't updated.
That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible that I have not updated that in that long. I was like, this is new for me. I don't like change. Mm-hmm. Today is January 23rd, 2024. It is Tuesday. Today is going to be cloudy, a few flurries or snow showers possible, high around 40 degrees. Winds in the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it's not going to be too crazy. It's getting a little warmer. It's getting a tad bit warmer.
I like it. It's
Me
supposed
too.
to warm up this week to melt away all this snow. I don't understand why is my car so white?
Tristan was talking about that on the way in. He said it's supposed to rain on Thursday.
Oh.
Hopefully that will wipe down some of the salt.
Because I sure did wash my car on Friday, so that's...
Oh, yeah.
But you can't wash your car on Friday. You know, it's as long as it's salt is gonna get on your car.
Yeah, I hate that.
I didn't know
feel like you should
snow
like
when it's
that,
on
right?
Saturday. Yeah. I didn't know that it was
And
going to
I
do all
think they
that.
just overdid it. They just overdid it with the salt too. It was like
Yeah.
a little,
Yeah.
little brush, and you got all kind of salt overstrains.
Terrible. Let's get into the around the way news. Owner of multiple mass hospitals says financial losses could jeopardize care. Okay, what does this mean? Boston watch the gap is. I don't know what's happening.
It's glitching?
No, I don't know where this even came from. Can you see if you can figure this out, please? Thank you. I don't know what it is. Owner of multiple mass hospitals says financial losses could jeopardize care. I wonder what that means.
Could jeopardize care.
do I
The
find-
gap has only continued to increase, and most community hospitals, including Steward hospitals in Massachusetts, are suffering losses that jeopardize their ability to continue to offer services. I don't know what is going on
I have
with this
something
thing.
ready. Give me a minute.
What is? Oh no, got it.
You got it?
Yep. So New England Sinai Hospital in Stoughton, Morton Hospital in Taunton, Neshoba Valley Medical Center in Ayer, Kearney Hospital in Dorchester, Good Samaritan in Brockton, Holy Family in Haverhill, and Methuen, Norwood, St. Anne's, and Fall River. All of these places are in Steward's network. Steward, I remember when they took over all of those hospitals. Steward said their facilities and other community hospitals face financial troubles that stem from the pandemic. Since then, the hospital group has been affected by a gap between commercial health insurance reimbursement and reimbursements from federal plans, which meaningfully trails commercial.
I bet you who ain't gonna get a payment
said.
from me is them hospitals, because I'm not paying. Send me an ambulance bill almost every month. I'll be like, oh no.
Who's Steward Hospital?
No, from the hospitals in general.
Oh.
They probably losing money because nobody's paying their medical bills.
I know. Steward's payer mix, which is a hospital's measure of patients' insurance types, is more than 70% Medicare and Medicaid. Steward said this reimbursement gap is affecting community hospitals across the state. That's true. Medicare and Medicaid have had a really, really rough time with reimbursing a lot of people for a lot of things since the pandemic.
Them prescriptions probably too.
Yep, and because the Ike clinic that we go to down in Nubian Square, they weren't able to process Medicare and Medicaid because they weren't like paying them back in time.
Yeah.
So she was actually, because she's amazing, so she
Yeah.
was just actually taking patients, like, let me just come in, give you a free exam or whatever. And she was like,
yeah.
the only thing is that I can't. You can't order glasses here because
Yeah.
that's too much.
Yep,
But yeah, so to hear that they're still trying to recover and causing all this, but like, well, yeah, if
They're
your
still
hospital,
trying to cover. Like, these are the places that I feel should be funded,
right?
if anything, right?
And
Like, there
have-
should be
and
hospitals
have
and
safety
schools.
nets in place for
Yeah.
situations like this. So I don't know, but anyhow, that's really, really sad.
Because she's nice. There's other people that be like, we can't just process it, and
Yeah.
now you don't know where to go or what to do.
Yeah.
That's very terrible.
So hopefully they'll be able to recover somehow. All of these federal monies that we're always hearing about, though, why can't these federal monies go to support places like hospitals and hospital
Yeah.
groups? I don't know. Anyhow.
In some fun news, this is always a good topic throughout the year, is baby names. These were the most popular baby names in Boston for 2023. According to the city, 20,645 births were registered in Boston last year.
In Boston?
In Boston.
20,000.
Yes. And that's interesting because we have ample, I'm not saying that this is the other choice, but we have ample like abortion laws here. So that doesn't seem like a little number of people. It's not like only 57 babies were born in the year of 2023.
Right.
20,000 new people on the earth doesn't seem like we should be afraid of not having enough people to birth. 20,645 births. So Boston's official on Monday released the most popular names for babies born in the city in 2023. There were 20,645 births registered in Boston for the 2023 calendar year, according to the city. The most popular names for the city's newest arrival are and were Olivia and Liam, Emma and Noah, Sophia and Henry, and Charlotte and Leo following behind.
Oh, I like them all.
Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice, prestigious names. The Boston Birth Registry collected the most popular names for the youngest Bostonians and categorized them based on their baby's sex assigned at birth. So girls were Olivia, Emma, Sophia, Charlotte, Sophia, Sophia, and Sophia.
Oh, both spellings is true.
Isabella's. I don't think that's going on.
Sophia?
Anyway.
Is that Sophia?
Sophia. Both of them are Sophia. Grace, Chloe, Amelia, Maya, Luna, Gianna, Mia, Nora, Ava, Natalie, Ella, Emilia, Maeve. Maeve.
Eleanor? What year are
And
we in?
Eleanor
Yeah.
sounds like 1947.
I think they're trying to start bringing back those names.
All them
People gonna
names.
start
Like
naming their
Maisie
children.
and
Mildred,
Mildred and Rosetta
And,
Bernice.
Adeline,
Anybody name their child Bernice anymore?
and Brenda.
And Brenda. Boys were Liam. Noah came in at number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Henry, Leo, Theodore, Jack, Julian, James, Thomas, Benjamin, William, Luca, John, Ethan, Logan,
I love
Aiden,
Luca.
Charles, Samuel, Joseph, Oliver, and Jaquan.
It wasn't
And
your
what?
child supposed to be Aiden?
I made up Jaquan.
Wasn't your child supposed to be Aiden?
Aiden?
Yeah.
Maybe at one point.
I mean, if those names don't give you an insight on what Boston looks like.
Those are all very, there's a lot of black people.
There's
naming
a lot of
children
black
out.
people with all of those
Yeah.
names.
Liam, though? Why
Liam.
not?
There's
I know how many
lot of
Liams.
Liams. Yeah, there are a lot of black little Liams. Yeah.
And
That-
they show cute.
They are. These 3 and 4 letter names are very interesting to me too. I like them because they're easier for the children to write. And that's what they always say
and
too.
for others to pronounce.
Yes.
For the children to write. The children ain't children too long.
Like I messed up with putting an E at the end of CK's name, which I shouldn't have done. His dad has an E at the end, and I should have taken out the E, because sometimes people pronounce his name Corneli, and I hate it. Why do we E it?
Why would they do-
because
why
they
would-
don't call me Daniele,
Right.
so I'm not sure why they would automatically
Because
E out the
ones without the E is Daniel.
no.
No, it's not.
Because you got
It's
12.
still without, mine without
Because
the L
it's-
and the E.
Let me
it's
tell you,
Daniel.
honey, you know why? It's because you're black.
Oh,
And he can't just
yeah.
be named Cornell.
Okay.
That's why, with that spelling. Because it has to be,
It's
to be-
racist that they mess up that baby's
because
name.
it has to be significant that
Yeah.
you put this E on the end. So that's why
I feel like if
they
it was
pronounce
supposed to be the E, I would be a I-E or a Y or something like that to emphasize
No,
it. But it's
that's
just
for
regular.
girls.
It's silence like salmon. Salmon.
Yeah.
Without the L.
Yeah.
Moving on. Harvard
So
played.
interestingly,
Yeah.
so you said there were 20,000 births. The population of Massachusetts as of July 2023 was 7,001,399. So that's not a lot of kids for all of the people that are here. Or does that number include no, it doesn't include all those kids.
Can we find out how many kids got flushed down the toilet?
Shh, no.
Tristan, they do not get flushed anymore.
Where they go?
They go to baby heaven.
Baby heaven.
A baby heaven. These Harvard plagiarism probe finds some problems with why?
Leave her alone.
Plagiarism probe finds some problems with former Harvard president Claudine Gay's work. Y'all already fired the woman from her job. Y'all already embarrassed her and made her look like some evil villain throughout the entire world. Y'all still probing on plagiarism?
Right.
It's AI in here right now. Do you really know what plagiarism is nowadays? Is that really a thing? Harvard University has shed fresh light on the ongoing investigation into plagiarism accusations against former President Claudine Gay, including that of an independent body recommended a broader review after substantiating some of the complaints. In a letter Friday to a congressional committee, Harvard said it learned of the plagiarism against its first black female president on October 24th from a New York Post reporter. The school reached out to several authors whom Gay is accused of plagiarizing, and none objected to her language, it said. Harvard then appointed the independent body, which focused on 2 of Gay's articles published in 2012 and 2017. It included they are both sophisticated and original, and found virtually no evidence evidence of intentional claiming of findings that were not her own. The panel, however, concluded that 9 of 25 allegations found by the Post were of principal concern and featured paraphrase or reproduced the language of others without quotation marks and without sufficient and clear crediting of source. It also found one instance where fragments of duplicative language and paraphrasing by Gay could be interpreted as her taking credit for another academic's work, though there isn't any evidence that was her aim. It also found that a third paper written by Gay during her first year in graduate school contained identical language to the previously published one by others. Those found a broader work by a Harvard subcommittee who eventually led Gay to make corrections to the 2012 article as well as the 2001 article that surfaced in the broader review. The subcommittee presented its finding December 9th to the Harvard Corporation. Harvard's governing board concluded that Gay's conduct was not reckless nor intentional and therefore did not constitute research misconduct.
Yes.
So y'all made that lady resign from her job for no absolute reason at all. Because y'all didn't want her there because she was a black woman.
So now what?
So now nothing.
Nothing.
I wouldn't want the job back. You ain't gonna take
she's
me.
tenured. She's still there.
She's still there as staff. Yeah, she's a staff. Because she's getting a very, very handsome paycheck.
Okay.
I would take that and not have the responsibility of having the president and being the first. I'm already in the history books. Leave me alone.
Yep.
Talk to me later. I don't like y'all. I'm only here so I can get my paycheck.
And then when they look in the history books now too, they're gonna see that that she resigned
because of racism.
And then look, nothing. So she's a hero.
I was reading, like, when I dug deeper into the plagiarism, there were things in there, like it was like a line, and in the line it was like Tony picks up the cup. And if you don't put quotations around there, you're supposed to figure out a way how to change that. So Tony went to the other side, embraced the cup, and lifted it. That's how, if you put I picked up the cup or Tony picked up the cup, plagiarism. You're supposed to figure out a way to not make that one sentence that you really can't do nothing with be different, or you're in charge of plagiarism.
And you so have to quote.
Or you got
you gotta quote it and say, I got it from this passage right here, even though the passage has been footnoted at the bottom, but because it wasn't quoted and numbered as coming out of this book, that is how technical they got on her about this plagiarism thing, and that is how technical they got this lady out here with the technical racism. While the man who pushed forward for this whole accusation to come through, his wife is over there just taking passages and pages out of whole books. And she's just able to do what she got to do, which is crazy. Very, very crazy. I don't like that. Quincy police allegedly find cash, stolen jewelry during a traffic stop. What was they pulled over for? Oh, this was an Irish traveler. A routine traffic stop got a little more interesting on Saturday when Quincy police pulled a driver over and allegedly found an assortment of jewelry and more than $70,000 in U.S. and foreign currency in the man's SUV. I would have been suspicious too, because why you got all that money there? The unidentified driver, an Irish national, is believed to be part of an Irish traveler scam that has targeted Massachusetts residents in recent months. According to the police, the traffic stop happened shortly around 11 a.m. on Saturday when an officer saw a Land Rover Defender pull out of a Holiday Inn Express in North Quincy and make an illegal left turn heading the wrong direction on Stratton Way. The officer stopped the Land Rover on West Quantum Street. The man didn't have a driver's license, and police issued him a citation for driving the wrong way down a one-way street and operating a motor vehicle without a license. Before towing the car, officers conducted a search and allegedly found more than $70,000 in various currency, foreign identification documents, and a large quantity of what is believed to be stolen jewelry. Among the jewelry were 4 class rings spanning from 1960s to the 1990s. He definitely stole somebody's whole house. While the driver was...
Take all these.
And then I'm going to go the wrong way on the street, making me a little bit more suspicious that I want an adventure. While the driver was only cited for traffic violations, Quincy police believe he is linked to an Irish traveler construction fraud scheme. The scam typically begins when a purported contractor visits someone's home unsolicited and claims to have leftover material, according to police. Once hired, the scammer keeps finding more items to repair on your property. It is important for victims of these types of sophisticated scams to report these crimes, as it allows our detectives to investigate and coordinate with other law enforcement. That's rude. You're going to pretend to come help me and rob me in front of my face? That's mean.
It is. It's mean.
This is why you can't just be like, if I didn't send for you, why are you here? I didn't ask you to come to my house to fix nothing.
Don't come for me
And then
unless I said
yeah. And then when you fix the one thing that I say is okay, then you walking around my house finding other things that you need to fix. No. Come out my house.
Desperate times, girl.
If I wanted all that done, I'd go right on down to Home Depot, get me a nice group of workers, and they would come fix 70.
Sometimes they offer to fix your home at the Home Depot parking lot.
You can bring your home to them and they'll fix it. God damn it.
Has that ever happened to you? That happens to me all the time in American Legion, that little plaza out there outside of the hair supply. You'll be out there and a group of people will pull up to you in a car and be like, I will fix that scratch for you right there.
Really?
No, that's a little auto zone right there outside. There's a little outside auto zone. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
But they be scammers and stuff.
They're scammers.
They be scammers. They be like, because they sit there and they wait for people that got scratches and
Yep,
stuff on their car.
yep.
And they be like, hey, you know, you can fix that.
Just give me an hour, 70
Do it right now.
$600.
Give me a 12 pack. Give me a pack of Newports.
And a pack of hair. I'll scratch it out right now.
So crazy.
Rub it out with my elbow.
I got a machine that will suck that right out.
They do. Yes, right now.
Really? Let me see it.
Come look in my trunk.
Get in it and look in my trunk. Massachusetts brothel suspect makes case to keep court hearings closed. Attorneys for more than a dozen suspects accused of buying sex at Brian, all of the sex. The brothels in Massachusetts are making their argument that their clients' first hearing should be kept secret. Filings made Monday in connection with what federal authorities called a sophisticated high-end brothel network. A Cambridge and Watertown may shed some new light on the case. A clerk magistrate initially ruled that hearing to determine whether there was probable cause to charge 28 unarmed suspects in the case could be open to the media. But a Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court justice put the case on hold last week, allowing those anonymous suspects to make their case to keep the proceedings closed. The U.S. Attorney's Office has said the brothel clients list included elected officials, government contractors, and military officers, among others. I just want to know who the elected officials are so that we can...
Ask them when they are.
Yes.
Ask them some questions.
Ask them why you buying the sex? Why you buying it? What is it in it? What's in it for you to buy it?
Investigation into the high-end brothel bust in Cambridge and Watertown and Virginia, in part arguing that being a public official doesn't outweigh a person's right to privacy. A clerk magistrate initially ruled that these hearings would be open to the media, but last week a Supreme Judicial Court justice put the case on hold, allowing the 28 unnamed suspects to make their case to keep the proceedings closed. In a filing on behalf of just John Doe's 16 and 17, their lawyer wrote that they have, quote, many varied professional and personal activities, endeavors, and duties because of the public nature of these activities, endeavors, and duties. Their professional and personal lives would be severely and irreparably harmed by a public airing of mere accusations. A lawyer in a separate filing calling it public walks of shame. The U.S. Attorney's Office has said that the brothel's client list included elected officials, government contractors, military officers, among others. It's just not clear when the justice will rule.
I mean, I just don't believe, and nor do I think that it should be public for some reason.
What is the, for what?
Yeah.
Why?
Because what is it going to make me? What is it going to make me feel to know? I'm most likely not going to know these people. I know there's many people that will know them, but like, then what? Like, what? They're already in trouble for. And I don't think this is I don't feel like this should be an illegal I don't know.
You don't feel like?
I mean, I just don't feel like it's something that is
Like sex
public.
work should be legal.
Like it's public. Like we should be publicly cautious of these people because they choose to purchase sex from high-end clientele or high-end like sex workers. Okay, why do I care? Like I don't understand
what's criminal about that.
This is static. This is a statistic in the middle-aged white higher class are the ones buying the sex, and that's what it is. Like we know that. I don't think that anybody would see the list and be like, yes, they didn't. Most likely, we'll see the men on there. We'll look at them and say, I see why you had to.
Yeah. You look like you need to
You
buy
might
it.
have had to buy it. And that's not nice to say, but
it's true.
It's sometimes that's all what people have. They got money and they don't got no swag, so they might have to just pay a little.
That's foolishness.
Put a little
That's foolishness.
throw it in the bag.
Why? And maybe they can't attract the caliber of woman that they want, and so they pay for it because they have the money to pay for it.
Like, what is the difference between like a Match.com?
Because that's for like a relationship.
Yeah.
These
They
people
ain't
just
selling
looking
What
for a
if
hiccup.
what if one of my hookups led to me being in love with my hookup and we get in love and I take her out the game?
Yeah, but still,
Ain't that honorable?
Yeah, it is honorable, but what you said, didn't you say Match.com?
But same thing. I go on Match.com, I pay the $450 monthly fee. Now I find a woman on there and me and her have a little sex.
You paying Match.com versus paying me.
And she got Match.com too, so I guess we paying each other for the sex. So it's not like
No,
you
neither
just
one of
buying
y'all
me.
ain't getting the money. It's going to Match.com.
Oh,
In
true.
prostitution, it's exchange of funds between just us. There's no middleman.
I'm sorry that I even made that comparison. You right. You got that. You got that, sis. You got that. You smart. You smart. I see what you did there. And last but not least, the suspect charged with mayhem accused. Oh wow, mayhem. I love the word.
mayhem.
Yeah, because these be fun. Suspect charged with mayhem accused of breaking into Milford residence and biting a victim. You just. I'll be damned. You come in my house and bite me? The hell do you think you are? Why are you biting me? It's crazy. A Milford woman is recovering after allegedly being bitten by a break-in suspect early Sunday morning. Officers, that would be funny if the story says she was sleeping peacefully in her bed and she woke up to somebody biting her. What did you do? If you woke up, somebody was just biting on your arm.
That was in a movie.
Would y'all be mad?
Did y'all see y'all ain't see? I wish y'all watched little scary movies.
No.
But in Talk to Me, there was a scene where the little boy woke up. Well, the little boy, he fell asleep, and the girl was possessed, and she woke up
Gnawing on his arm?
gnawing on his foot.
See?
She was sucking on his foot, on his toes.
Oh.
And he woke up and bugged out and kicked her in the face like,
Hang on.
damn.
Sorry.
I woke up like that one time.
But no, if I woke up and saw this lady at the end of my bed,
Yeah, she looks dirty. She looks like she's full of mayhem. So a Milford woman is recovering after allegedly being bitten by a break-in suspect. Officers responded to the Milford Police Department lobby to assist the female with a deep facial laceration around 3:17 a.m. And I'll be pissed if it's that early in the morning. Found that the victim had been attacked by another female and two males at her residence. The female suspect, identified by authorities as Valderine de Cruz Santos of Worcester, allegedly bit the victim's face during the assault and caused a deep gash on the victim's upper lip. Santos was arrested a short time later by patrol officers. She is charged with mayhem, assault and battery, causing seriously bodily injury, and breaking and entering into the nighttime with intent to commit a felony. The two other suspects involved in the attack will be facing charges. The names have not been released. The victim was treated by the Milford Fire Department, and she should be okay. It says she got a big bite mark in her face, and she's not in the mood for that.
That's awful.
That's terrible.
gotta pray for people.
Yeah. And then just a quick update. We told we would update the Newton Teachers Union. Judge has ordered their first and future fines for the Newton Teacher Police. Because remember, we learned that it's illegal to go on strike. So they are getting fined it up. That's crazy that you would fine the people. You would fine them money because they are protesting because they want more money. Clearly, they don't got it to pay you.
Obviously.
So I don't know what you want to do here. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And we come back, we'll be talking to our good friend Armani White from Reclaim Roxbury. And we might have Carlos Enriquez join us on the latter end of that call as we get into the national news, so we can learn a little bit more about all this caucus and all of this name off a ballot and write in and blah, 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 blah. Spark FM Online will be right back.
Let's start with the big question.
The all-new Spark FM.
JP Morgan Chase is making a global commitment to break down barriers to drive inclusive economic growth all over the world. We believe there is a pressing need to help more people move up the economic ladder. That is why we are investing in communities and people to create an economy that works for all, because no community should be left behind. Right here in Boston, we're focusing that work in Dorchester, Roxbury, and Mattapan, among other neighborhoods, on improving financial health. These efforts aim to address the key drivers of the racial wealth divide head-on. We're here to empower individuals, families, and small businesses by connecting them to the tools that build generational wealth and a long-lasting legacy. Chase is investing in Boston. Chase is investing in you. Visit us at the Mattapan branch at 1617 Blue Hill Avenue, where the team is waiting to help.
Want to give your baby a head start? Get the best protection against flu and COVID-19. Because their immune system isn't fully developed at birth, babies need additional protection. When you get vaccinated while pregnant, it can keep you and your baby from getting sick. As they get older, this can result in more time in school and daycare for them, and more productive time at work for you. Vaccines are safe and effective for children as they grow. No matter where you are on your pregnancy journey, flu and COVID vaccines can boost your and your baby's natural defenses and protect your family. Stay up to date with your vaccines. Stay healthy. Talk with your trusted healthcare provider today. Brought to you by the Boston Public Health.
Finally Home is a must-read step-by-step guide that will equip any first-time home buyer with the knowledge they need to confidently make informed decisions. This book provides answers in simple and clear terms to most, if not all, of the questions you may have about credit, home ownership, and generational wealth. Finally Home equips the reader with the confidence to be engaged with the home buying process without feeling vulnerable or exploited. Tailor-made Real Estate Easy is not just a catchy hashtag. It is real estate agent and radio personality Taylor Andre's goal. A goal to simplify one of the most challenging processes you will go through as an adult. A goal to educate you properly on credit and teach you the strategies to finding the home of your dream. It is not just a good book or an easy read. It is the secret to a seamless home buying experience.
Boston's new home for urban Caribbean music. Spark FM. Spark FM. Playing all your favorite hits from reggae. Spark FM.
If you no mess with the way you are gonna see a million. We got it gon' go long just like the Amazon.
Spark FM.
I do the life and I easy. No say we are for win. Walk with the camera like Jesus.
Soca. Hip hop.
Yeah, we going crazy.
R&B.
You could do damage. You could do damage.
Afrobeats and much more. Spark FM. Spark FM.
say what? You know that I like it, baby. Girl, you know. And you know what I mean. See, I wonder if there is a I forgot what I was gonna say.
If there's a song,
yes,
Yep.
that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. What? I don't know the next part.
immature. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, but they'll continue singing it forever just because this is what y'all know about lamb chops. This is Armani. I told you that the way that we do things here is fun time.
Yes.
It is
It's
fun
serious,
time.
but it's fun.
We go infotainment.
Yes.
This is where we tell the people what's going on.
Yes.
But we tell them in a way that's digestible and goodable.
Yes.
And they really feel it, and then they start being like, oh, I like him. So Armani White is here with us in the studio today, so give him a big welcome. He is from Reclaim Rocks. Oh, okay. Pageant hands. From Reclaim Roxbury. Armani White, well, let me stop calling you a whole government name.
Like we ain't cool.
I know, like we don't know each other. Welcome to Spark FM Online. It's been a long time coming, and I'm really, really, really just excited to have you here so we can have a real good, like, real conversation about the hood and what's going on and how we can get this better and how we can get it to where we need to get it. Very, very important and powerful man. You just won the Celtics Citizens Hero, all of it. All right. Citizen of the Hero. He was out there on the front on the court waving his hands just like this.
Yes.
I don't think he made no baskets that day, but you know, he was outside, and it was dope. So, Armani, tell us what Reclaim Roxbury is.
Yes, so Reclaim Roxbury is an organization that I helped. Oh, mic closer. Y'all can hear me better now?
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Gotta put my radio voice in.
Yeah.
All right, so Reclaim Roxbury is an organization that I helped co-found in 2015, along with a bunch of other community members who were concerned about the city at the time getting ready to develop or put out for development over 40 acres of public land in what was then Dudley Square and is now Nubian Square. So
It's always gonna be down Dudley for us.
so we got started. Just coming together. The city council at the time, Tito Jackson, District 7 city councilor, kind of, he gets to see what's behind the curtain, right?
Yeah.
So he was able to say, hey, this is happening. We need to get our ducks in a row. There was a study put together by MIT and RCC to identify, what it would take for community members to come together and actually have a vision for what this land looks like, building on the work that had been done before. Because our community has been around doing this stuff for a while. Reclaim Roxbury is not the first group trying to
Reclaim Roxbury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we talk about the development. We talk about the open space. We talk about gentrification and all of these things often, all the time. Being on the ground and doing this work, we're seeing it happening.
Yeah.
What do you, on your side,
Yeah.
what does it look like as we're developing and you're fighting? You're one of the activists that are really kind of pushing for a more open space and different things like that. What does it look like? What's the problem? What's happening?
Yeah, oh my God, there's so many problems, honestly. There's so many problems. I mean, you could zoom out and say that there's like a federal problem with the federal government not wanting to actually invest in building affordable housing. The way that affordable housing is built is through tax credits, which basically allows private developers to build affordable housing, but there's no commitment to what we kind of know to be like projects and things of that nature.
Let me just ask, can I ask a basic question?
Yeah.
What is supposed to be affordable housing?
Great question. Great question.
Good basic question
So
because that.
when we talk about affordable housing,
Yes.
we often have to clarify to folks that what the federal government considers affordable housing is not the same as what you and I
Exactly.
consider to be affordable to our pockets. So growing up, my father would always say, "Oh yeah, they're building more affordable housing."
Exactly.
That's the great way to describe it. Affordable housing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. It's essentially the way that HUD determines affordable housing is through using the area median income, which includes it's not just a Boston area median income, but it includes it goes Weston, Quincy,
Weston.
right, Newton.
Really? So we're median incoming from all of these very high. Oh,
Yeah, it's a
no.
metropolitan statistic set up
Wow.
to essentially direct. It's part of the process of how they essentially determine how much money goes towards affordable housing and how much income people are spending, how much of their income they're spending on
It's
rent.
high-end housing by design, basically, right?
Well, I mean, I think the goal is to try to create more affordable housing, but it ends up being that it's unaffordable because it requires developers to have the incentive to build deeply affordable units, and they don't have that incentive right now, and it's more work to actually build deeply affordable units.
Why?
What is deeply affordable?
Well, so deeply affordable is units
what
that
we would-
if someone who's like has no money can afford it, or someone up to with Reclaim Roxbury, we have like a famous thermometer on our website that kind of we use to explain affordable housing.
Okay.
And if you look and see like the average median income of a Roxbury household is around I think like $35,000.
That's crazy.
40, so that's average median income. It's I think maybe on our you can just go to our first page and scroll down to the bottom.
About us.
Like on our homepage. Just click the logo. All the way at the bottom there. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see what the average Roxbury resident makes versus what is the kind of the standard number used for affordable median incomes in Boston.
Oh, okay.
And you can see the disparity between what people in Roxbury can afford, for example, and what the city. So you'll see most affordable projects will be for up to people making 70%, 80% AMI, which you'll see it has an income that is way above what Roxbury households make.
Absolutely.
So the folks are not able to afford it, and that number
This
goes
is a
up.
cool thermometer, people. Tristan has it up on the screen right now.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, and so we try to get the word out about this whenever possible. I mean, we're working on trying to figure out how we can actually change how or rather to encourage there to be a more like Boston median income.
Yeah.
Rep Tyler has a bill about this actually, but we are more so focused on how we can get the city to incentivize developers to build more of that deeply affordable housing.
Because this is a really big gap between what BPDA says is affordable, which is $72,400, and what Roxbury is literally making is less than $50,000.
Right.
So there's a whole like $20,000 or $25,000 discrepancy between what they're saying we can afford and what we're actually making and able to afford. That is sick.
So basically, what you said is right. It's basically building more expensive housing than more deeply affordable housing, and it flies under the radar because it's still technically affordable. And so what we've done that we feel really proud of actually is in Dudley Square on all of the public land, like the big parcels you see, we're able to work with the city under the Walsh administration. We forced them to require on that public land that 66% of the housing be affordable, and not just affordable
Deep affordable.
but deep affordable. Yeah, so a third low, a third medium, and a third market.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
See, that makes a lot more sense because from this end, for people that are not deep into it, it just seems like they're just building and building, and then when we hear it's so like it's so like numbing now. Like you don't really feel anything when you hear about and they're building 20 affordable units. You just kind of like roll your eyes like it still ain't for us. So what do you do in those situations?
Yeah, I would tell people to definitely sign up for our newsletter. There's like all the developments that we were able to get the 66% requirement for are well, not all of them, but basically they're going to be under construction soon. So people should be prepared to apply for those units.
Yeah.
And we actually help people to apply. The process can be kind of difficult to know when it opens. So there's one development that we have that we were able to influence that's under the construction right now that's going to be basically 100% affordable it's for artists and teachers.
Yeah.
And it's right there, 2147 Washington Street.
Okay.
Like the Dream Collaboratives with Black developers. So if folks didn't know, like not only did we get a commitment from the city to require that they build affordable housing, but they required that the development teams that get the bids are diverse. So you have folks like the Dream Collaborative, which is a Black-owned firm that's being able to be a part of the development of Dudley Square. So it's very different than what you see in other parts of the city, but
So-
we organize to protect Dudley.
This
in
is
Roxbury.
what we were talking about before. It is like, wow, because Tristan's from, are you considered Mattapan?
Mattapan.
Yeah, Mattapan. Are there other organizations in different part of the cities that are working in tandem or
Yes.
in collaboration
Yeah.
with you?
Yep. So
Okay.
there's a coalition across the city of Boston
Okay.
called Right to the City Boston. There's a number of coalitions. One of them is Right to the City Boston.
Yeah.
Another one's a coalition for truly affordable Boston.
Oh.
And yeah, there's just different groups that are working on this whole kind of like issue around the housing crisis. But
Yeah.
in Mattapan, there's two groups that stand out to me that like we partner a lot with. One of them's New England United for Justice. They're
Okay.
like 10 plus years old.
Oh, wow.
They have, I think their main office is in Grove Hall, but they have like influence throughout Mattapan. And have board members and membership there. And then also there's the so New England United for Justice. Mimi Ramos is the director. They're great and they do a lot of work like fighting for families, fighting for housing justice. They're really important organization out there. But then also the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council, which is an actual like neighborhood association or council like in the. So basically, in the Boston zoning code, there's a number of neighborhood groups that are identified that like.
And these are aside from like the main streets and stuff like that?
Right. These are like
Okay.
a legal kind of group. So the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council formed to basically be the Mattapan Neighborhood Council. Not every neighborhood has one. Like Jamaica Plain has one, for example. Long story about the Roxbury one. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council, and they're very involved. And right now, Mattapan's actually going through a process. The city's initiating a new planning process called Squares and Streets Mattapan, where they're going to be looking at how to encourage private development to spur economic development there.
That's dope. Yeah.
And so it's dope, and it's also we got to be vigilant that there's going to be affordable housing included.
How did you get into this work? Just kind of taking a step back to just talk about you a little bit. How did you get into this work, and why is it so important for you to do it? Because I met you a while ago with Carlos, and at that point you were
my God,
you came to the house.
That was back at the
in
house.
the house studio. So we've
go way
grown
back.
a little bit, you know.
This is beautiful.
Thank
This is beautiful.
you.
Yeah.
So you were campaigning to be on a Democratic State Committee.
Yep.
And then since then, I've just kind of watched you and just kind of paid attention to the things that you're doing. And it's always been very dope to see a young person do such important work. How did you get into this?
Appreciate the kind words. But basically, I guess I've always had like a passion for like social justice growing up. I'm actually after this going to the funeral of Julia Martin, who's like a famous leader in Bromley Heath, which is one of the neighborhoods I grew up in. My grandmother.
Condolences.
She condolences to her whole family and to the Bromley Heath family, but. Yeah, it sucks, but she lived a long, good life and did a lot of important work. Fighting for community, making sure we have affordable housing, making sure we have a good quality of life.
Yeah.
Her, my grandmother, people like that, and also my parents. So I kind of grew up in this kind of like community of doing.
In the civic engagement life, yeah.
Yeah, like my grandmother was literally a part of the like senior council that met with Menino often with Julia Martin.
Yeah.
And was on the project review committee. Things that I now advocate to be more open to community. She was on a project review committee with my mother around the Julia Martin House development.
So you like kind of was just kind of groomed into this life of civic engagement.
I mean, my parents wanted me to be a doctor. Or a lawyer, like
Don't they all?
But I always had a passion for justice, and when I got into high school, I learned about it more, and that was Obama was becoming president, and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And then I basically learned about social justice through the summer program, which sent me to Panama. It's called Summer Search. I used to work there. Great program.
Yeah.
They take inner city kids in the sophomore year, send them on programs, send them on trips across the world to learn about basically social justice and giving back. But essentially I went to Panama and was given like the task to organize a 300-person community in the middle of nowhere, farmland, Panama, in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I'm black. Right? I was learning Spanish in high school though, but they dropped me in and they were like,
you gotta download Duolingo.
and we didn't have no cell phones back then.
Oh, true.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't have cell phones. I barely have pictures of this, but went around and lived at a host community, knocked on doors, organizing folks around doing a community action project. And so I'd always cared about like social justice issues, but never learned about like the practical tools to organize around an issue. So learned that in Panama, came back here, and then ever since then, I started in like 2011 working around stop and frisk issues when I was like just out of high school. Back when that was.
So you was in the gutters from early,
this
like
before Trayvon Martin. Before Trayvon Martin was killed. I was, involved in this whole.
It's so funny to hear about people who have been doing the work even before it became trending, almost. And not saying that death is trending. However, these days that social justice aspect is a little bit more, picturesque and things like this. I had a visual. What was I about to say to you? In the terms of development, just jumping right back into there, we're gonna go back and forth. Open space.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about development of low-income housing and affordable housing, but something that the city screams about all the time is the fact that we don't have any open spaces. It seems like everywhere that we go that is an open space that could be utilized for anything other than housing is being used as housing, and now they're building on top of and top of and top.
Yeah.
Do you think that do you think that the amount of housing and the amount of development that we are developing is actually needed, or is it something that is more so for profit?
So if we were building more affordable, truly affordable housing, I would feel better about the way that we're building a ton of housing.
Okay.
I think it's important to note that, like, under the former mayor Walsh, there was a commitment to try to build, I think, 30 or 40,000 housing units, but no specific commitment to the amount of affordable units. That was something we criticized back then. So what, you know how the same way, like, the economy is set in motion before a president comes in. So, like, a lot of what's happening was set in motion
Before.
and so now I think Mayor Wu is trying to take and I think she's done great. And I also have, like, things that I think could be done better when it comes to that. But when it comes to the like how we're using the space, I think it's important we're a city, right? Like, I think there's a need to build for.
What was it? Population today was 7,100 and what?
7 million.
7 million,
Yeah.
7 million and one or something.
In Boston?
Yes.
Or in Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
Oh, I was gonna be like, yeah. And
How we fit?
I feel like I read somewhere that, like, people are leaving Boston, but people of color leaving Boston and moving to, like, the suburbs, and then there's a lot of immigrant people moving from other states into the suburbs, and maybe Boston if they have the opportunity, and that a lot of the people leaving are more affluent folks. But either way, I guess back to your question, I feel like we gotta commit to both open space and also building affordable housing, and you have to have that mix. But I think, if you ask me, it's hard to find an affordable unit, and if they were actually building more affordable units, it wouldn't be as bad of a thing. But we feel like our open space is being taken and given away, right?
Yeah, and then I guess even so with that too, like even though we're not building the deep affordable, because I'm gonna start using the deep affordable housing.
I call it truly affordable.
Truly and true. I like truly. Yeah. Even though we're not using the truly affordable housing, we're using all this other affordable housing that people cannot afford to be in. Are these lots of affordable housing and regular market housing? Are people actually moving into them? Are these being are they being used?
So the developments that we influence in like Dudley are not built yet, so no. But we also are part of this coalition for truly affordable Boston, CTAB, and we have been working to advocate to change the city's policy around how many affordable units are built in any building across the city. Okay. Because right now there's a requirement that Menino set way back when.
It was like 20% or something.
13%. It was 11%, and then it went up to 13% under Walsh. And then we've been advocating for it to go higher, up to 25, 33%, but we landed at 20% this year.
That's a little bit of percent. Because I'm thinking that's a very little bit of percent.
And the AMI is what? That's the other question. What kind of affordable is the?
Exactly. So I'm thinking that if there's a 40 unit development and 10% or less than 10, that's 4 units in this 40 units. Yeah. That is for that is for kind of not truly affordable, but it is affordable.
Right.
Which is crazy to me, because then I feel like there's enough.
$2,000 a month for a studio.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's crazy. Like if we doing the math right, that sounds like a lot to me.
So we were able to change actually the average AMI that's being used. So we got it down from 70 to 60% AMI. Yeah. Which we were proud of, although AMI kind of changes each year. So we kind of felt like we wanted to go even lower. We were able to actually get a consultant, Rick Jacobson, who is often used by the city to like kind of determine feasibility of development changes, to look at our proposal of going up higher to 25%. Yeah. And what they look at when they do these studies is like, how much does the developer need to make to kind of be incentivized to actually, spend the time lining up all the contractors to build the damn thing and lining up the fund, right? And basically they look at that and they're like, how much can we do and cut here? And we were able to, get a study that went up to 25%, but the city had at that point kind of made their mind at 20%. And that's because of the influence of like the real estate, industry who are like, Mary Wu's making it hard to build.
Yeah.
And it's like they're already making a lot of bread. So
do you find is the most frustrating or the most difficult part of doing this work when you are in these meetings and you're going to these things? What pisses you off?
I think what pisses me off is I feel like there's often like everyone wants there to be like a better world and things to be better, but then when it comes to doing what it takes, whether that's making a little bit less or pissing someone off, people don't like to be uncomfortable or to have their pockets kind of like threatened. And I I get it. I understand it because like I don't want my thing threatened, but that does frustrate me. And aside from that, maybe that's probably the main thing. Just feeling like people BSing.
Yeah, people don't be
I
ain't
have
about.
two questions about two specific areas. I'm looking on your website at the current development that's happening down in Roxbury in that area that
Nubian
you described.
Nubian Square, Dudley Square. Yeah.
So I know that in terms of like open spaces, the Blair lot has been used for the past few years as like a open space for people to have. There's been block parties there. There's been I think KRS-One was in that area and all this stuff. Yep. So now I'm seeing that there's development set to happen on the Blair lot. Yep. So that space will no longer be there?
Yep, that space will no longer be there.
Wow.
Yeah, the Blair lot's getting developed. And what's cool about that is, so the people who do that festival every year, Black Market, it's like the people that throw it, they're the developers of that lot.
Oh, Janie Construction, I think it is. Yes.
So what they're actually building there is like a bunch of like community commercial space in the front, but then also they're creating the Greater Roxbury Cultural Center, which is going to be an actual like theater.
Yeah, I've heard about. We've been hearing about this.
So there's going to bring. I think there's also going to be a portion of it that's going to have some parking. So there's still going to be parking. So it is a reality that big parking lot that we were able to use before is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
That was always public land that was never meant to kind of stay that way. And to revive Nubian Square, we need to give we need
if we're gonna do deep housing somewhere, then that's some deep affordable or truly affordable. That's a really great place because we know that the Janeys are very, very affluent and very
same family.
Kai Grant. Well, it's Kai Grant actually.
Yeah, Kai Grant. Yeah.
Okay. But same. Yeah, they're cousins or sisters.
Sisters.
Okay.
Yeah. We know that they are doing a lot of work down there, and I feel good about hearing that they're kind of leading the process to make sure Roxbury natives, they work there, they live there, and then they are helping to develop it.
They've been a part of what Reclaim Roxbury's been doing around like making sure people show up. They're like one of our main kind of like people that represent their neighborhood. And the mission of Black Boston to kind of create this central heart in Roxbury. So they're definitely good people. And
my next question is we ripped from the headlines of Boston. We've been hearing all about these Walgreens closing and closing all over the place, and there's protests and especially down in that area. Yep. So are there any plans for redevelopment of the old Walgreens down?
That's a great question. I don't know. I want to look into that more because I know they're closing the one next to Quincy Street. There's a protest this past Saturday.
And on Warren Street.
Yeah, and I mean I love that people are just kind of bringing it to them, like, what are you doing? I mean, I wish there was a world where there could be a black or brown or like, MBWE kind of business owner that could step in and be able to afford that kind of lease to, or buy the building and turn it into like a pharmacy that's not a big corporate control one.
Right, that's what we were speaking about yesterday.
That would be my dream. Is there someone who can do that right now? No. I don't know. Am I gonna go and make a pharmacy company? No, so I can't be. I can't. I can't complain so much. But I think that's what our community is doing. They're like, look, we don't have the ability to. Sorry, bang a table. We don't have the ability to make a pharmacy, but we're gonna show up and demand what we deserve in our community from this entity that makes a lot of money off of us and has for many years. So I think that's an important thing to do. But I would love for there to be some like cooperative economics or some business person to step in. And maybe there isn't. I don't know about it. I mean, I'm not hip. If there is,
I'm hoping so. No, we don't know either. But I'm hoping that there's somebody out there that sees the opportunity for a viable business, a viable, very needed, essential business, and does the work to get it done. I mean, I wish I had the time.
Because they closed the CVS on Harrison. They got the Walgreens on Washington Street in Dudley, and then they closed the one on Warren Street.
And we were talking about just in general too, when it comes to our neighborhoods, about being a little bit more proactive instead of reactive. I feel like we should have been protesting that Walgreens to be better from a long time ago, because there's been a lot of people in the neighborhood who have been complaining about those things. And I mean, and just in general, I feel like we do have a lot of no, I wouldn't say complaints, a lot of concerns in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan. We
don't show up.
We don't show up.
Yeah.
And I do, and that's what I always remember you to invite you in here, because you do so much of posting of different community town halls, especially when it comes around White Stadium.
Yep.
How are you guys feeling about that? That's not considered Roxbury, is it?
Yeah, that's Roxbury.
That's right.
It's like Roxbury JP right on the line.
Yeah, like right
Eggleston, right over there. I mean, so and because of that fact that it is kind of so, side, we
Yeah.
haven't been as deep into it, to be honest with you. Like, our focus this past year has been on the Boston Water and Sewer lots in Lower Roxbury, which are right next to the Dudley Square. That's 4 acres of public land that the city is trying to basically encourage affordable housing development on, truly affordable.
Truly.
And they started using the standards from Plan Dudley that we were able to do in 2018 as a starting point, and then built on it. So it's like, I think a good commitment or shows a good sign of faith from the administration, like Wood administration, on how they're using public land. Our slogan has always been public land for public good. And when she ran on public land for public good. That's what Right to the City Boston's about. And when she became mayor, she actually did an audit of all the public land in the city of Boston. And the report was called Public Land for Public Good. And she identified all these areas that we could take advantage of to build affordable housing, truly affordable housing. And with there being ARPA money from the feds, just because of everything. So we're taking advantage of that and building some affordable housing. So the RFPs are out. You
Truly.
check it out. Truly.
When we're driving down the street, we see all of these new buildings that are being built up everywhere, and like, wow, they're really building in every little area that they can.
It feels that way.
And that's so that's what it seems like is really happening.
Yeah.
Even with these lots being just
those
I think
lots.
that they've just been sitting there.
Is there? I would like to know what's being done for ownership. We know that
That's a good question.
One thing that we lack. So we talk about we talk a lot about there being a Black Renaissance in Boston in the past 5 years. But one thing that we're definitely missing is ownership.
Yes.
And is there anything being done with the lots and houses being built that are affordable, meaning that stay within like the 200,000, 250,000, so that we're able to, the people that live there are able to purchase those homes?
Yeah. We got a caller?
Spark FM Online, caller your life. Yeah. Caller.
Good morning.
Oh, hi. Hello, Carlos. Oh, I see you in the comment section.
This Carlos Henriquez?
This Carlos Henriquez, my good friend. He is going to be getting into the national news right after this, so he wanted to come say hi. Hi, Carlos.
I'm much more excited about what my brother Armani White was talking. How come we always say his full name when we refer to him?
I don't know. I think I got that from you, and I think that
it's just he's so official. I think it's because he's so official. But I just wanted to shout the brother out and say hello to you, sir. I'm glad that you're on with Spark and able to continue the work that you've been doing for quite a long time. When I talk to people, I always let people know that this fight that I've fought, that you are fighting, it happens in increments. So, when I hear you talk about creating a new standard and elected officials adopting that, I hope people are paying attention that comes from years of work prior that you've already been doing. And I always talk to people about how you're one of the leaders in Boston that I trust and support and will continue to support in years to come, no matter what your venture is. So I just wanted to, be able to say that to you and give you some flowers live on air, brother.
That's my guy. While you're on that subject, though, thank you, Carlos. While you're on that subject, Armani, well, I have a follow-up question.
I still wanted him to answer the question on ownership.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Not yet, but I can do both.
Oh, because yes, go ahead.
Because the caller called in. What up, Carlos? Carlos has always been a major supporter, and I've always looked up to him as one of the people in our community who stepped up into this not fun position of trying to help.
Very not fun.
Not fun. Move the boulder of white supremacy off the our backs and community. And I know he has done that in the legacy of his family, which I respect too. So, what I was going to say though about the answer to the question around ownership is what we were able to get is not only the requirement for affordable housing, but affordable home ownership. The issue with that though, like you're asking, are there going to be $200,000 homes, kind of like what our parents got? That's not happening, right? And that's not and it's because of a lot of different things. I think just because of the state of the housing industry, our government's not building affordable housing. They're not building housing generally, like white picket fence houses in the suburbs are not being built like massively in a way where we can actually take advantage. Now there's certain people who've been able to take advantage and come up with cool ways to make affordable housing, like Sage on Fountain. I don't know if you guys have heard about that.
I've heard of them,
Yeah, they're but the thing is, it's not $200,000. It's still like $5, $6, $7, and it's often a like one
One
family
house,
condo.
yeah.
So what you would call like a 1-bedroom apartment that you would rent normally.
Hate it.
Is basically like
Hate it.
$400,000, $500,000, $600,000.
Right.
And there's also and this is something that I think is a tool to make sure there's affordable housing forever, but can also feel limiting for us, knowing that like housing appreciation is how you build your wealth. Is the fact that
I've heard a lot of
new
new homeowners talk about like rent restriction and things like that.
Well, not rent restriction, but basically if you try to sell your house, you can't. You can't sell your house if you have affordable homeownership. If you take advantage of affordable homeownership,
you have to own it for a certain amount of time.
And then you can't like if let's say normally your house is worth $200,000, in 10 years it's worth $400,000. You sell it, make $200,000. You can only make up to 13%.
That's what I mean. Like it's hard to get out of the you know what I mean?
I mean
the system is
in
hard.
America, because I mean a lot of wealth is built off of in a lot of different ways, from businesses to like
land,
but one of the ways is through housing, and we've been locked out of that, and now the housing market is so effed up. It's hard to take advantage of that. And I mean, we have grandparents that are in a position to, and maybe we need to think about how we leverage their wealth that they're getting to invest in businesses or other property that we try to buy in areas that might go up in the future. But the way that our system is set up, we're at the bottom and it's hard to get to the top.
And we were talking about like that grandparent thing too, like stop selling your homes. Give them to the next generation so they can figure out what to do with them. And a lot of people get very excited about the monies and they're here like, oh, they're offering $1 million or $2 million, blah, blah, blah. And then you turn around and there's developers are selling them to somebody else for $5 million. So you just gave up your house and all of your generational wealth. But along to Carlos actually said this, and I'm and I'm gonna ask it because he's come from this land of elected official, and you did run not necessarily to be an elected official in that respect, but do you have any future plans on getting out there?
No, I mean, so I was on I ran to join the Democratic State Committee on the ballot. The state committee is this whole the basically apparatus of the Democratic Party. Y'all know, you hear about like how there's primaries going on, and like some places there's like New Hampshire doesn't have a Democratic primary.
Yes.
South Carolina does now. Mass.
We're writing them in.
All that stuff is all determined by the state parties. And then they also create the platform for the party. And so the idea is, well, what I thought when I ran, is that they have an influence on the politicians that run the state. Very different thing. State politicians, legislators versus the party. The party kind of just follows the lead of whoever's running the state Democrats. So it's not as much. And I guess let the cat out the bag. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. And we've helped. We had a Republican governor before, and we just had with Maura Healey. It's great to have a woman president, a woman governor. Excuse me, but the cuts that she just made to the budget, that's something that we would really criticize Baker for. And it's like we're like celebrating the budget, and I'm like, what? Like, what is going on?
Is that
here?
because we don't really Carlos, you still there? I don't know if
I'm still here. Listening.
Is that
I'm
because
in,
when we're talking about budget cuts and people are excited and stuff like that, is it because that they don't know what that actually means or hearing it put into a different way? Because I know that politicians talk in a cute way that you're like, oh, that sounds great, and then you're like, hold on, wait a minute.
yeah. Honestly, I mean, I think it depends on who's celebrating. Like if it's like a person who knows nothing and they just see, oh, we just funded this for $450 million. They might not know that it was actually $900 million last year.
Yeah.
And they hear $450 and they're like, oh, that's a big number. I never touched $10,000.
Yeah.
So, but in reality, we're talking about big numbers. And most people don't understand how the budget works. Most people don't have their own budget.
That's true.
Let alone worrying about the state's budget. And
where did they make these cuts?
So they made what they call 9C cuts, and they made them across the board. And basically, the governor has the ability to make these cuts. It's like a technical thing, and she can do that. And so that's across the board. Like we're talking about mass health. We're talking about like the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. Their fund, was cut, from what they're usually getting. Tons of programs, rental assistance for families in transition, things of that nature.
What do we cut? Why do we cut them? Why do we cut them?
So it's really complicated, and I'm not a budget expert, right? I'm not going to sit here and
Carlos might be able to help.
Carlos might be able to help. And I encourage people to look more into like Mass Budget and Policy Center has a lot of info on this. But essentially, what happened is if y'all remember, we did the millionaires tax.
Yeah.
Question one, we raised all this money. Okay, and then the way that I guess the state does their budget is that they'll budget right for the next year, and they will essentially commit to fund programs without knowing their revenue just yet. And so what they did is they I guess, and Carlos, hopefully back me up on this one if I got it wrong, but essentially what they ended up doing is cutting the same amount of money that they got from the millionaire's tax, and I think estate taxes and a number of other cuts. What they didn't do is cut.
So instead of like allocating, they just
increasing more taxes.
Yeah,
you know, balance it out, and they took out a bond, which is like a loan, to do the housing funding that we're doing right now. So an expert on this could talk like if folks listen to there's a podcast, the Incorruptible podcast, Jordan Berg Powers, Jonathan Cohen, and I think
from here,
Massachusetts. They talk about like. Basically, the state of Massachusetts from like a progressive
perspective,
and they're like super experts on the state budget. Incorruptibles, Mass. It's a podcast. They're really good. You might want to have one of them come on here and talk about it. But
say less.
They had an episode on the State House, and they talk basically how these budget cuts, across the board, people get them cut, and it really is just a policy decision. It doesn't have to be this way. There could be, we could have decided to not cut taxes for the rich. And we cut taxes for the rich, and that's a thing that is decided because.
And I thought that was a thing that we were trying to not to do more of. Like this was the 1% or the rich tax.
Yeah, millionaires tax. Literally, they just counteracted the millionaires tax, and it's because there's people who don't want to see the millionaires tax. There's people who are rich, who are powerful, that do not want to see, this kind of funding going.
So we'll continue to allow them to just be rich, while the rest of us get our things.
We're not gonna just like put our hands up and be defeated. We're actually a part of a coalition called the Delivering on Equity Coalition, which is working statewide to figure out how we both educate our communities on the budget and then work to create the power to have a budget that actually speaks to what we need. And we were a part of the Better Budget Alliance here in Boston, which worked to change the city's charter to allow for city councilors to have more say in the budget and to start participatory budgeting. So we've been a part, like Reclaim Roxbury has been a part of this whole like educating people on the budget to try to get more people involved.
It's not a sexy line of work. It's not something that you have. If you don't care, I don't see how you will start to care unless you feel it, right? In this role, ever since kind of, meeting Carlos and talking to him, gotten really heavy into civic engagement in politics, right? Yeah. So now it just seems like something that we have to talk about, and we will force this down our audience's throat because these are things that we need to know about while we're living here, because we complain so much about all the things, and we have so many concerns and thoughts about these things. So I'm glad to know that there are people out here that are actually doing the actual work that you are doing. So it's very, very important. I did have another question.
So can I just jump in on that comment right there? Because I don't want people, well, I said earlier that I love the work that this man is doing. And if you hear him, he's just rattling off information. Like it's in his brain, you know what I mean? And so he's doing the work. The challenge is when we throw the word we around and we're not talking French, right? There's not enough of we doing the work. So you get an Armani White, and he'll do the work for 10 years. It's not glamorous. Sometimes it puts you at risk in political standing, and you're not making the high six-figure job that you could be chasing, that everyone else is chasing, and buying homes and cars. And then you could burn out because you don't have enough troops behind you, right? Now, everybody doesn't need to know what Armani and I know, but everybody has a role to play. You might be the budget expert. You might be the person that can hold signs and protest somewhere. You might be able to share the website on your Facebook page and share it to other people. That all is part of the we of the work that gets done. And the more of us that do that work collectively, we'll start to see more momentum around truly affordable housing, around more participatory budget. More of the things that he's talking about will happen faster if more of us get involved. So I don't want people to think, Armani's on it, he sounds good, I'll just wait on him. We can't wait on one person to come save us.
Yeah, I feel like that's super important to...
Amen. We need the word unity back in community, people. We need everybody to work together to get these things done, because it can't be one man and his tribe. It needs everybody need all hands on deck.
How many people are in your?
I was gonna just say something about that. So we're looking for what we call block captains.
Okay.
So someone can sign up.
I want to run my block.
Yeah. If you live in Roxbury, we're focused on Roxbury.
Yes.
Let's do that. Let's talk.
Okay, I do. I want to run my block. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Like, I want to go and put letters on everybody's door and tell them that we doing things.
So we can support you to do that. Yeah. And
after I get my dog.
And depending on where you are, we might have block captains that are in that area. Right now, we have. So we just started like last year, really trying to build out this block captain.
Yeah, and what does that mean?
So essentially, someone.
Look at me signing up and not.
No. So basically, and we bring them together once a year right now, and we have. what is it, 13, 14 block captains right now. We're trying to build it out to have like 50 plus. And the idea, the real sweet number we were saying before was, I think, was 27, just because we were thinking there. We thought about it in wards and precincts. In Roxbury, there's like 27 basically different wards and precincts. This is after the last redistricting, so we got to recalculate. But say what to say, the idea is to have a leader in each neighborhood that knows people on their street and can be a trustworthy person to share about information or to let people know about stuff. And when it comes time for election, to make sure that everyone on their street knows the election's happening and votes.
Pick me. Yes. I'm right in. I'm off of Dudley, right in front of the Croc Center. So I'm there.
Exactly.
I'm right there.
Yeah, and that's a voting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Been in the crib before. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you was there. No, but this is important. This is important stuff, and I feel that we should have you on more often to just kind of plug us into what is going on around the cities.
Love to.
We'll also try if you can connect us with your counterparts in the other neighborhoods as well, so that we can make sure that all the neighborhoods are covered when it comes to their listeners and our audience paying attention and listening to them. So, and we're about to be a part of the Mattapan Coalition soon anyhow.
Yeah, the Greater Mattapan. The Mattapan Council. Awesome,
we're moving the station down to Mattapan.
Oh, perfect.
Blue Hill Ave.
Perfect.
So, so we want to be involved in these things that you have going on. I know that you are pressed for time, and we do have to kind of get into our national news. Carlos is on to talk to us about elections and stuff like that. Where can we find more information about this? And we'll call your people and have our people call you about coming on.
Yeah, we definitely got to get Dorchester people on. Dorchester Not For Sale. We have folks in Alston Brighton doing it. We got folks in Mattapan. So East Boston even. So everywhere. But reclaimroxbury.org. We have a newsletter. Please go on there.
And let me subscribe.
Yeah, there's a subscribe option. You can sign up to volunteer. And more to come from there. So,
I always in tell them, like, you are obviously in the know and you know all these things, but when it's time to settle down and have fun, we can also count on you for doing that too. And I believe that there's a lot of duality to people, and I think it's really fun that we have someone like you in this position to show us that it could be fun and it could be infotainment if you guys just do, pay a little bit more attention to your neighborhood and your surroundings and your community. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. Go to a meeting. Show up. We got to show up. Armani, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, condolences to your friends and everybody. I know you're about to hit a funeral.
Yes, Julia Martin.
Yes. Of Roxbury.
Of Jamaica Plain.
Of Jamaica Plain.
Yes, of the Brownlee Heath, Mildred Hilly apartment. She's like a Titan leader in the community, and she passed away.
Another big Titan. And then when you hear about those kind of things, you always miss those heroes that were advocating. So we need more of them to come up and continue the work that these Titans have done in their respective neighborhoods. So, again, thank you so much for your time. And we're going to continue this conversation later.
I'm down to come on more often. Thank you. I know it took a little while to get me on here, but thank you so much.
I know, we got to struggle. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Keep it locked right here. We'll go into our national news right up next, and we'll talk to Carlos Enriquez.
The only thing that does matter is great music, and you will find it here.
The all-new Spark FM.
Did you know that you can now get a standard Massachusetts driver's license regardless of your immigration status? To get help with your application, a list of all required documents, and nearby appointment scheduling, visit mass.gov/WFMA. Your license is your way forward, so why not get started today? Register now at mass.gov/WFMA or call 857-368-WFMA.
Want to give your baby a head start? Get the best protection against flu and COVID-19. Because their immune system isn't fully developed at birth, babies need additional protection. When you get vaccinated while pregnant, it can keep you and your baby from getting sick. As they get older, this can result in more time in school and daycare for them, and more productive time at work for you. Vaccines are safe and effective for children as they grow. No matter where you are on your pregnancy journey, flu and COVID vaccines can boost your and your baby's natural defenses and protect your family. Stay up to date with your vaccines. Stay healthy. Talk with your trusted healthcare provider today. Brought to you by the Boston Public Health.
Massachusetts Social Equity Program creates pathways into the cannabis industry for those most harmed by the war on drugs. The Cannabis Control Commission offers free education and tools to navigate the legal marketplace, including focused training and support on entrepreneurship, management, entry-level employment, and ancillary vendor support. To apply, visit masscannabiscontrol.com/equity. That's MASS cannabiscontrol.com/equity.
Often I hear people talking about how high their electricity bills are. Massachusetts has programs that everyday homeowners pay for, but never look into. Have you ever considered why some homes have panels and others don't? If you have Eversource, National Grid, or Unitil for electricity, you are paying for your neighbors to get panels at no cost. The charges are on the bill. Why not get someone to pay for yours? This program also helps with re-roofing, tree cutting, and electrical upgrades. If you're tired of short-term solutions for a long-term problem, connect with Bakari to find out if your home meets the requirements to upgrade at no cost out of pocket. Save the planet, future-proof your family for power outages, and save tens of thousands of dollars on an otherwise lifelong bill. Mention Spark when you call or text SPARK to 617-833-8940 to get 2 months off your power bill covered if your home gets selected.
Finally Home is a must-read step-by-step guide that will equip any first-time homebuyer with the knowledge they need to confidently make informed decisions. This book provides answers in simple and clear terms to most, if not all, of the questions you may have about credit, home ownership, and generational wealth. Finally Home equips the reader with the confidence to be engaged with the home buying process without feeling vulnerable or exploited. Tailor-made Real Estate Easy is not just a catchy hashtag. It is real estate agent and radio personality Taylor Andre's goal. A goal to simplify one of the most challenging processes you will go through as an adult. A goal to educate you properly on credit and teach you the strategies to finding the home of your dream. It is not just a good book or an easy read. It is the secret to a seamless home buying experience.
The all-new Spark FM.
Them no like me, I mean I like them.
Spark FM.
Come on. Sicker than your average.
Spark FM.
Yo, chick a man be ballin'. Deep chicks pigeon toed. Some of them be crawling.
Spark FM.
Oh gosh. It's me again.
New England's #1 urban Caribbean music. Radio. Spark FM.
Hey, let me talk to you. Come here. Let me talk to you.
Mad youth, not again.
Take one.
You're listening to Spark
It's like two.
FM online.
It's like true.
Cha-cha now, y'all.
Yeah.
To the left.
Oh.
Take it back now, y'all.
I see what you
One
did.
Right foot, let's stop. Left foot, let's stop. Cha-cha, real smooth.
Oh no, this is a sexy cha-cha.
Turn it out.
I want to do this cha-cha.
That's cute.
Oh,
Frankie.
that was awesome.
Madam.
Yes,
That
Miss
is
here. Carlos.
Yeah, I was feeling
Oh,
that
hi.
right there. That was my turn.
You like
I'm ready. Okay, let me get focused.
It's time for our national news, and we've solicited the advice of Carlos Enriquez to kind of answer some of the questions. I know he doesn't even like national politics, but this with great intelligence comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me just put my disclaimer out that I do hate it, and I'm not an expert in it. So I'm going to try to, and it's very, to me, Armani was probably better to ask than me, but to me it's very complicated. So I'm going to try to explain it in a way that I can digest it, like we're on the block.
Yes.
Right? It's going to be very basic. Okay,
That's exactly
so
what we
it's not
want.
going to. Ain't nobody leaving an expert after this little bit we do.
And that's
So we'll know a little
why
bit
we
more.
value you as a person, because you break it down for us in digestible bites.
Yes, so that we could understand.
So my
Okay.
our basic question was, in light of the story that we read yesterday about Mayor Wu campaigning for Biden to be written in New Hampshire, and we were like, why isn't he already on that ballot? And then that led into kind of like what is a caucus and what is the caucus about? And
right.
then just now
how does this whole thing work?
Right. And then just now when Armani was speaking, he mentioned how New Hampshire doesn't have a primary, but we know that New Hampshire does have a caucus. So can you, like, I know that I asked a lot.
Yeah.
I know you can.
That was Ms. Tony, you be knowing. That was exactly what I was trying to figure out myself as well. So, Armani had mentioned that, we know that there's a Democratic Party and we know that there's a Republican Party.
Yes.
And again, these views are my views. These are not the views of Spark FM because I'm bitter about this. They're two sides of one coin, two wings of one bird. To me, it's a shell game. We get played either way. But that's neither here nor there. The parties, once you leave the municipal level, once you leave the city levels, Armani talked about the state level and federal, the parties have control over who can become a candidate in their party, right? So in the state level, whoever the highest elected official is kind of like the de facto boss of the party in terms of the front person, like Maura Healey, or the federal level is the president becomes the head of the party because there's no one above them, right? But below them, there are a bunch of delegates who decide if that's going to be the person they put out front. Who are we going to run this year? Who are we going to let be our person? And so all the debates and primary caucuses is for them to decide who's our person for this year. It's why people never run against the president, the sitting president, right? No Democrat really shows up and says, I'm taking down Obama or I'm taking down Biden. They just kind of lay in the cut and wait for the incumbent, the party head to leave, and then they come out. So the primaries, you hear about Iowa, you hear about New Hampshire. The people in the party, the Democratic National Party, decided, and they get a little petty. They decided Iowa used to be the first for Republicans. New Hampshire used to be the first for Democrats. Just a rule that they made. A bunch of people say, we're going to have our first primary to win over delegates. And I'm going to get to why the delegates are important in a second. But it used to be New Hampshire. The party now said, we're going to make it to South Carolina this year.
No.
And New Hampshire was like, well, we still doing our election on the same date. And the delegates are like, nah, we moving it. And they're like, we don't care if you're moving it. So then it got a little petty. So that because President Joe Biden is the head of the party, he went along with the party and said, well, I'm not going to show up in New Hampshire.
But isn't New Hampshire, it's not important?
Yeah, maybe. There are 27 people's names on the ballot that I looked at this morning. I never heard of any of them in my life, and you ain't seeing them on CNN or MSNBC because the party don't want you to know who they are, and most of them, wouldn't rise to the occasion to be able to win the party or the election anyway. But there are people on the ballot. But Joe skipped it because he was doing what the party told him to do. Don't go to. But then his inside team will say, well, we got to make some kind of presence up there. So
is that why they're doing this write-in thing?
Right. Now, write-ins are very difficult, no matter whether you're running for city council in your neighborhood or whether you're running for president. You need to have people standing outside saying, hey, vote for somebody that doesn't show up on the list.
Right.
And they're like, what? Yeah, vote for the names.
First of all, we're not even going to vote for the ones that's on the list yet, and now you want us to write something?
So the only people that can vote in these elections, right, if it's a Democratic primary or Republican primary, you can only vote if you're in that party. So today in New Hampshire, the only people that can vote are Democrats and people that are unenrolled. Right? When you fill out your voter registration form and they say unenrolled, you belong to neither party. So you can decide whether you want to vote Democrat one time for the primary or you want to vote Republican or a third party. The Green Party or the Libertarian or, the formerly Bernie Sanders Party. Yeah.
So, but wait, so then how, so you're saying primary, vote in the primary, but this isn't.
Don't we get the primary?
I'm sorry.
So you said
Massachusetts will have one, but it'll be
primary.
But
in New Hampshire, it's not a primary; it's a caucus.
They're almost one and the same when it comes to the president. So let me get into the delegates.
Okay.
You have to win a certain number, whether it's at the state level or presidential. They say you're supposed to win a certain number of delegates. That's what you're voting for today. You're not actually saying these two are going to be the top. You're actually voting for delegates who then will pick privately You know what I mean? Like how they do the electoral college, and and you're watching the race to 270. The first president or candidate that gets to 270 wins. It's similar to that process. So they're electing, delegates. So the Democrats have a roughly 3,900 delegates. They have to win like 19, half of that, a little bit more than half of that, 1,969. So these people will go vote, and every state that you win, you will get the delegates from that state. Now here's the tricky part. This is why I don't like this stuff. You'll get the pledged delegates. This is where it gets in the weeds, and people be like, "Oh, that's too much. I tap out." You get the pledged delegates that they have to vote the way the party votes. They have to vote Democrat, right? You won their votes. Biden wins their votes in South Carolina. Those pledged Democrats have to vote for Joe Biden to be the party nominee. There also are super delegates. 15%. You heard about this term, super delegates, or they can do whatever they want. They can say, you know what, I don't like Joe Biden, I'm gonna vote for Trump or Nikki Haley or whoever becomes the one, and that makes no sense to me, but they're allowed to do it.
Okay. And how do you become a super delegate?
Super voter.
There are a lot of tricks and back doors and trap doors in that the higher you go in politics, and I believe it's to take away control from the average person, and it puts it in the hands of the millionaires, the people that run PACs, the elites, who have really been running the country, which is why I said I was bitter in the first place. I really hate national politics.
So Carlos, don't be acting like you're not one of the elite. I saw you with your feet in some fancy slippers at a spa getaway the other day.
That's a different type.
That's a different kind of super elite.
Let's not conflate the two things.
He said it's affordable, but not deeply.
Yeah, it's not truly affordable.
Right. It's not truly, but self-love is the best love. So
I didn't have a candidate running. There is somebody running against him?
Is there?
Each state there'll be different. Yeah, there's like 27 people on the ballot.
So there's somebody right now that's in let's just say Massachusetts is like, yeah, I'm running for president.
Yeah.
I'm on it. I'm on the list. Vote
but
for me.
Same thing for governor. There's people that run for governor that you never really heard of, like a third or fourth candidate, and they get knocked out. They get knocked out before they even make the news, or they suspend their campaign because they know they can't get enough there. Like Ron DeSantis is out because he knew he wasn't going to get enough delegates from none of these places, right? He lost in Iowa, and he was like, they can see the writing on the wall. They do the math and be like, yo, we ain't gonna win this. We tried. We got our name up. We raised some money. We out.
Right.
In the state, it's the last thing, and I love her to death. Former state senator Sonia Chang Diaz was running for governor.
Yep, I
but
remember
when she did the math, she realized she couldn't connect in enough neighborhoods to get enough delegates to be the lead. So she bailed out rather than drag people along for a whole year. She gets out and then leverages somewhere else. So
that's
that's
exactly
kind of how
what
that plays
DeSantis
out.
said. He didn't want his campaign people to be wasting their time to something that wasn't a guaranteed victory.
And you gotta pay them. Those people are not always volunteers.
Of course, I'm not going to campaign for Ron DeSantis without him paying me. No. You too controversial.
Carlos, what are your thoughts on the election so far? What are your thoughts? What do you think that the
You think Trump is really going to be up there at the end of this day getting votes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus
absolutely.
Christ.
We're going to be once again. It's going to be the lesser of two evils, and it's hard to measure which one is which. To me, they're both, and this is ageism. I own it. They're both too old to be leading a country that they're not going to be alive to see.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know what I mean? If you're almost 80 years old, you shouldn't be making policy decisions that are going to be lived out the next 10 to 20 years.
Absolutely.
Most likely you ain't going to be around to see it.
Yeah.
But people, for some reason, trust their grandfathers to plan their future rather than trust somebody. Like, for me, that's why I believe in Armani White and young people's leadership that are in their 30s and 40s, because they're going to have to live with the decisions that they're making right now. I don't like anything about Joe Biden's presidency. I didn't like him as a candidate. But I think I take his pandering to black and brown people over Trump's racist rhetoric to black and brown people. It's funny to hear him, the son of an immigrant whose family changed their last name from Trump to Trump, go and attack a woman who whitewashed her parents as a child of immigrants who were attacked for racism, but now doesn't believe that. I mean, it's just a bunch of bullshit, basically. So I try not to follow it, but whenever I come home, wifey has CNN or MSNBC on, so I end up absorbing a little bit of it and paying attention.
I don't want to hear that.
Me. This doesn't sound
I
like
usually
fun
just
to me.
walk out the room. I go put Spark FM on and see what's playing.
But. I like that. No, this has been good. This has been really insightful because, we try to bring this information to our audience and oftentimes just kind of, on the basic end of it. And what we need, we'll be like, where's Carlos today?
Yeah.
So thank you for stepping out of your comfort zone to talk to us a little bit about
If you'll allow me, though,
Yes.
I'd like to sneak in one little local thing. You guys were talking about CVS and Walgreens closing.
Yes.
And I did have some conversations and have some intel on that. So they are looking for an operator to come in, preferably a pharmacist or a pharmacy company to come in and replace Walgreens, but it's probably going to be hard to find.
Yeah.
They are also looking for operators for that building, but that building is very unique. If you've seen it and know it, it's a large building. No, there's not many.
Which one are you referring to?
Go in and operate that space. The Walgreens on Warren Street, across from Warren and Townsend, or Warren and Quincy.
Yep.
So most likely that could be subdivided, and it could probably host three or four local businesses of a different type.
Yeah, they have I think there's a dialysis center in there right now, right?
Is it still there?
On one side, right? But even the Walgreens footprint is very large, right?
Yeah, it
You see the room and then the back room, so you could probably break that up into several small businesses and have a nice storefront on the main thoroughfare. And there are people that are looking to fill those as well.
Okay.
The challenge is, in terms of the pharmacy and the health, is we have a lot of elders in our community that depend on closeness.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know all the disparities and the social ills that health determinants that make us die at a younger age in our community. However, these are private businesses, so it is hard to protest them into staying. Imagine Hyde Park showed up and said, Spark FM, you can't leave our community. You can't go to Mattapan, and they outside picking, and you're like, you better get the hell out the way. We on our way to Mattapan.
Yeah.
The thing that people aren't paying attention to that we should tell our elders is that the whole marketplace is moving towards subscription line. Right? Pharmacies across the country, obviously they're closing in black and brown communities first, just like budget cuts happen to us first because nobody really cares about us. But in 5 years, there probably won't be many pharmacies. They just want to be able to mail it to your house, because why would I, as a company, why would I want to pay for brick and mortar and rent when I could just have a warehouse somewhere else and just mail it to you?
Yeah.
So we have to start informing our elders. It would be nice if the elected officials not only had protests, but also had town hall meetings and mails and lit drops to the elders in the community saying, if you need a liaison or training, come to this community center. We'll show you how to get your prescription delivered to you online. Direct services need to come into play where government and activists intervene and help out the elders in our community, because they're going to keep closing. They're just going to close in our neighborhoods first, but CVS are closing everywhere. Walgreens are closing everywhere. It's something that
I feel like it doesn't even need to be a huge thing like that. I just feel like there needs to just be something. It could be a room in that complex that is the pharmacy room where you can just get prescriptions and then have a convenience store that you can get all your other stuff from. I just feel like it's a good opportunity if someone is thinking about doing something great. And I feel like it doesn't have to, as long as the prescriptions could go there and be safe and people can get them that are in that neighborhood. It could even be like when they have like a Target mini. Yeah, exactly. Like a something mini where it's just a glass front with the prescriptions behind it.
Don't forget, too, we were reading the other day about how, Mass General Brigham is going to start utilizing drones to drop off prescriptions. So, yeah, you're right. The times are definitely changing.
So and again, we shouldn't depend on CVS and the Walgreens to do it. It'd be nice if they did it.
Right.
But we have community health centers. It'd be nice to be able to put up a kiosk in there. It'd be nice if somebody just, you opened up a school after hours, opened up Latin Academy after hours, and maybe seniors can walk over there and at least get the ball rolling and education can happen there. So, again, when we talk about that it got to be someone from our community that does it. It can't be, the demand that corporate America is going to come and do that, because they're probably not.
Yeah, you're right.
That's dope. I don't know what it is. It's crazy. You know, like, what do you do?
It's the truth. It's a battle. It's a battle that we up against day to day. Like, if we don't take care of us, no one's going to take care of us.
Exactly. And that's how I feel like. I feel like we're always kind of waiting for somebody to come and help us. And there's just so many capable people I think that are here that if they had a little bit of a, you know, like a little push or a little thought process, maybe they can put something together. I know that there's all these pharmacy schools and stuff. Somebody must want to come out of the school and own their own pharmacy one day or whatever. Yeah. But we'll follow that story pretty closely so that we can figure out what is going to happen there. We'll keep everybody updated. And again, thank you so much for just lending us your time and explaining things to us. You're a nice guy.
Sure.
Oh, it's at 11 o'clock already?
My skincare routine going.
Oh, man. Okay, so, it's 11 o'clock and Bobby Steels is up next. Carlos, we'll see you later. Bye.
See y'all later.
Peace, brother.
Bobby Steels is up next, so we'll interject some of these stories from today into tomorrow so that you guys know what's going on. We are going to slide off to the side, Saucy and Friends. Tari, we had to kind of get you guys in educational mode today, but it's good because we've had a great show, and thank you guys for staying on and being a part of the community.
Yeah.
Civic engagement. Me too. I feel smart.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the next civic summit.
Okay.
Say things.
With that said, people, we're gonna slide on over to the side. Bobby Steels is up next from 11 to 1. People, don't forget on Friday, this Friday, we have the One Love Sports Academy. They are having their inaugural fundraising gala. It will be at Battery Wharf Hotel, 3 Battery Wharf in Boston. You guys can get some tickets. You can get all the information on our Instagram and on our Facebook page. It's One Love Sports Academy. They're raising money for staff and programming. It's going to be a really, really great event. Lots of really great, important people will be there. So if you want to move and shake, come on out to One Love Sports Academy fundraising gala on Friday, 26th of January from 6 to 8. Very quick, in and out. Do something good for the cheerings.
Yeah.
For the cheerings. With that said, people, we are sliding to the side with...
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Tree.
What is this, Doctor? This is Turn Us. All right, let's take a look.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social